Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Bundesliga Show. We are here for some more Bundesliga homely content on the best Bundesliga beat out there. Joined this evening by Peter, who is coming to us from Nuremberg. You're kind of doing a whole kind of Mark replacement, kind of real, authentic one tonight, Peter, because you are literally in the home base of Mr. Broadhurst, but he's not with us this evening. But yeah, lovely to have you back on this evening. How are you, and how's your weekend been?
Well, it is a pleasure to see you. It's an even greater pleasure to be back in my beloved Bundesrepublik. And no, your eyes do not deceive. This is the Mark Broadhurst backdrop. This is precisely his backdrop, as a matter of fact, filling in for Mark, who's catching up on some rest this weekend after it's been an eventful ground hopping weekend for myself and Mark. And I'm pleased to announce that we have the editing process concluded on the first Bundesliga Show vlog of the new season, and we might actually be able to get it out to you guys tomorrow. Mark and I traveled to Hessen, to Eintracht Frankfurt, to visit Germany's man of the moment, if you will, Mr. Jonny Burkardt, and witnessed him score that brace. And we've put together a very, very special vlog for everyone. It'll be our season premiere for this season, so we're looking forward to sharing that with all of you.
Absolutely, yeah, great weekend of football, and what a lovely occasion for you and Mark to enjoy. One of a couple of games, but yeah, looking forward to seeing the end result of that. It will be an awesome video. So yeah, we'll try and announce on socials as and when that is going live. Just to say good evening / good morning to you, Justin. Thanks for checking in. And Mark also just being able to sit back and relax and watch us, good old Johnny B. Just before we get into it, please do make sure that you leave a like on this video, comment along with your thoughts and theories about everything Bundesliga, or if you have a particular question, by all means do ask. Sub to the channel and sit back and enjoy along with us. Of course, big shout outs to our two partners for the season in Covert Football Trips, and of course Bully News. Right, so as we have Peter on the show this evening with us, it would be wrong of us to not miss an opportunity to do a very rare but a very enjoyable segment that we do, which is, of course, if I can find the banner, Kiosk Club. Peter, you very kindly prepared one for us, so yeah, over to you to see what's happening in Kiosk Club this evening.
Absolutely. Well, I should forewarn you that I might have been just a little bit overzealous. Very, very excited to be back in Germany and hitting newsstands for Kiosk Club. I thought that I would begin with the Bild am Sonntag, of course, which covers all of the Saturday action. And I don't know why David Beckham had to make the news necessarily. Evidently, he and Posh have gotten a nice country estate in Oxfordshire, and that's I'm very, very happy for them. But I bring this up here to maybe show that England's or Germans are a little bit Anglophiles as well. But now we switch to something very German as I turn this around, and we have, of course, the Wagner Dämmerung, and this is a very, very deep German reference. As you may know, Richard Wagner and the Goethe-Dämmerung, that is part of this Der Ring des Nibelungs, the famous German opera. And the word Dämmerung can mean twilight, or it can also mean dawn. But in this case, we have definitely twilight after this huge result, which Justin probably can't wait for us to get to. Don't worry, we will get to it, Justin. RB Leipzig 6-0, or 0-6 if you prefer. That's the English style, which lets you know who the home team is. In this case, this was the second humiliating defeat for Sandro Wagner. It is basically what all Germans are talking about emerging from the weekend. However, there are, of course, other topics of conversation, one of them being our 17-year-old phenom, Lennart Karl, who became Germany's youngest ever Champions League goal scorer in midweek for Bayern, and, of course, also scored, again, in Bayern's victory over Borussia Mönchengladbach. I would like to point out that I appreciate this kid's talent and his healthy arrogance, but should he wish to get on the German national team, I would very much like it if he would shave, because, as I've mentioned before on this pod, when his hair gets wet, he is something somewhat Hitler-esque looking, and I just really don't want that on my German national team, if that's acceptable. So the young man may wish to shave. We move over to the Bild am Montag. As a matter of fact, the kicker was very, very good today. A story out of the Zweite Bundesliga is how well Schalke are doing. And in addition to all of the great coverage from the German top division, there was some great coverage on the German second division, which is a great league. Mark and I may or may not have taken in a Zweite Bundesliga match this weekend. We'll let you know about that as well. But and there was also some very good, interview with Ansgar Knauf. Eintracht Frankfurt, Borussia Dortmund is going to be one of the Pokal matches that we're going to be speaking about later on in this show. I'm sure of it. But we'll get to the Bild am Montag, and I know that Rory will appreciate the fact that we have Stuttgart leading the way with Nübel's 75-Meter Pass zum Sieg. Nübel recorded his second career Bundesliga assist, assisting on Deniz Undav's winner. That was quite the story. And also, the Undav, I was not aware of this. Perhaps you were, in covering the Europa League match, that Undav was the target of some racist abuse in the last match, and the fans were standing behind him. They had a nice little thing here, Dennis, wir stehen hinter dich. So that was a very nice gesture from them. I have one last thing to show here, and that is a picture of Leonard Carl, our 17-year-old phenom, who Said Al-Mala and Leonard Carl, of course, the Germans, the budding German phenoms that everybody thinks Nagelsmann should take with them to the World Cup. Let's not forget the World Cup is right around the corner. Feels like we just had the Euros, but the World Cup is right around the corner. Here is a picture of, this is 11-year-old, let me see, Leonard Carl. He was 11 years old in 2019. So not to get everybody feeling very depressed, but I don't know about you, Rory, but I think I'm feeling like an old man when I look at this picture of an 11-year-old in 2019.
Yeah, that's aging.
How does it make you feel?
Not good. Lovely.
Well, yeah, that'll be kiosk for us. So I'll turn it over to our host here, Rory, to take us wherever he would like to on the world's best footballing beat.
Oh, well, lovely stuff. Thank you for that, Peter, as ever. And well, I think as promised, there's probably only one place to start from this week's results, and it's definitely in Bavaria, as the hosts FC Augsburg took an absolute humbling, battering by RB Leipzig, who kind of finally really started to express their goal potential, as it's kind of we've been waiting for this from Leipzig. I think as Justin has already kind of picked out, the game was over very early on, as Leipzig went 3 goals up very quickly, 6 different goal scorers as well. Some lovely football played by the front line, particularly Diomande playing a really nice 1-2 with Romelu to make it 1-0. Romelu went from provider to goal scorer, as Udragao was able to tee him up on the penalty spot. That was for 2-0. And then a nice counter-attack ended up with Diomande setting up Nusa. So everyone was assisting everyone was scoring. Baumgartner made it 4 before the half. Another nice goal teed back to him, although it went straight through Finn Darman. 4-0 at the break. You're taking your medicine straight away. The second half, of course, was a procession, a walkthrough, but Leipzig was still very keen to add to their goals, and they got a couple more. This could have been any number, really, I think, and this is super concerning from an Augsburg point of view. But this was an excellently played game by the away side. Peter, I'll hand it over to you to, well, just kind of pick out, people were predicting a Leipzig win. I think, people were quite happy on that. I don't think we were expecting this blowout. So before we get into ramifications for Sandro Wagner and the Augsburg kind of, post-match run-through, Leipzig point of view, has this been coming? Because it's felt like it's been coming in the sense of they've really had this potential, and it's just in this one game, it's just gone bang, and it's worked very, very nicely.
Well, yes. I mean, the 6-0 defeat to Bayern on opening day certainly feels like an eternity ago when you look at the German Red Bulls. Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it in hindsight, a lot of it is hindsight is always 2020. But there were many, many specific winners from Leipzig's training camp, and Yann Diomande was among them. The Ivorian is a player that we're going to be talking about for a long time. In point of fact, I can never resist an opportunity to translate an interview with him, because I find him to be just an absolutely fascinating story. He actually trained in the US for quite some time, and then was over in the UK as well. And all of this happened. This is a very interesting footballing odyssey for a young man who was just 19 years of age. And of course, Leipzig purchased him from Spain for, what was it, 20 million, even though he only had an estimated market value at the time of 1.5 million euros. And in the latest Transfermarkt October value update, as a matter of fact, he's only 18 years of age. Good Lord. He will be 19 come the second week of November, if I'm not mistaken. But he is just, wow. What a mature footballer. And Bakayoko is not bad either. So Werner has some serious calls to make there on that right-hand side. Uedraogo, the Germany U21 international, just completed an excellent international break with the U21s. You have to realize that when he was starring at Schalke and Leipzig signed him, many, many people thought that he was going to be the next big thing. But injuries, of course, delayed his ability to blossom in the Bundesliga last year. Christoph Baumgartner, who has just been on an absolute tear this season, was linked with several Premier League clubs, but they convinced him to remain at Leipzig. As a matter of fact, Jurgen Klopp was earning his paycheck by recruiting both Diomande and convincing Baumgartner to stay. Nicholas Seiwald, who is a player that we've often made fun of on this pod because he looks so young, and people were wondering, why is Seiwald pulling the strings in midfield himself in this 4-1-4-1 when Arthur Vermeeren is available? It's because Ole Werner has a very, very good set of eyes. And the young man has in terms of his pass completion rate, he has really, truly, I think he's right up there among the league leaders. And there was an excellent piece in the Kicker on him just the other day. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to translate it, but just breaking down what an important component he is for this team. Wow. So we have a lot of good actors in place, so to speak, and it will. There's a lot of interesting decisions that Werner has to make on that right-hand side between Diomande and Bakayoko. Also, when Benny Henrichs gets back from injury, will he displace Ridley Baku, who I believe has been in very, very good form? Not everyone agrees with me on that. I'm a little biased. I'm a very big Ridley Baku fan. So this team is only going to get better. And it looks to be the case that they will probably be the challengers for Bayern this year. If you can say that we're going to have a title race this year, we need to see Bayern stumble first. We've not seen them stumble yet. They keep smashing records. However, Leipzig, the team that Bayern demolished on opening day, now certainly look to be Bayern's strongest competitor. And I'm sure that Justin is. I mean, I can lavish praise on almost everyone on this team. Really, I mean, Romelu has come in and really clicked quite quickly. Yes. Orban has had a couple of off matches, but the German-Hungarian from Kaiserslautern has really come through as a stalwart defender. Gulashi, who a lot of people were questioning, is this Martin van der Voort's time to take over as keeper? There's really, I could go on and on. I mean, we could seriously be here all night. We've credited David Raum for his set piece practice and his emulation of Alejandro Grimaldo's golf swing. There's a lot of positives to talk about when it comes to Leipzig. Of course, we can get to Augsburg here too. Was this a question of Leipzig being that good or Augsburg being that bad? An interesting mix of the two, because Augsburg fell apart. There were some defensive mistakes, some simple defensive mistakes that were made by Jakic, who was not in his not in his best position. Banks, who is still very young, the young German-American. Matsima, who has been rather disappointing. 2 horrible goalkeeping errors from Dahmen. Yeah, but that was after he was rattled and everything was, basically everything had fallen apart, and the whole Truppe, as the Germans would call it, were playing. You could just notice they were playing 3 steps too slow after letting in 3 goals early like that. So, it's a little question of both. I mean, Augsburg, they started the game strongly. Then they conceded, and then they tried to make up for it by pressing harder. And Leipzig actually scored, I think the between goal 2 and 4 on counters. So it was all. I mean, it was a whole mixture of things there. But Justin will be very, very pleased to know that. And it's funny because we have Justin and we have Mark to take into account here. We have big Leipzig fans and we have big Augsburg fans. Germans are a tad more interested in what's going to happen with Wagner now, because he has such a great personality, but he gives reporters wonderful quotes at press conferences. I mean, we just love covering him. He's such a character, but he bumbles and he stumbles and he backtracks and he clearly doesn't seem like he's ready for this level. Yeah. It's another little tip for our vlogging season. Some people you may know may be attending the next 2 Augsburg matches, which both happen to be home matches. The Pokal fixture against Bochum, and then Friday night against Borussia Dortmund. Yeah. So, having already suffered a humiliating home defeat against Mainz and now Leipzig, Wagner has 2 home fixtures with which to work at, and this is just going to be a cauldron of stress for the rookie trainer who has never trained at this level before. So yeah, exciting storylines to keep an eye on, and there may be some vlogs in the future about such things.
I don't. From an Augsburg point of view, it doesn't, as you say, it doesn't get any easier, because the next 2 games, as you mentioned, next 2 games in all competitions are both at home. Friday night against BVB doesn't get any easier. Then it's Stuttgart next in the league after that. They're not the games right now that you want to ultimately turn things around and quickly, as Mark kind of alludes to. When you kind of got that safe pair of hands that Augsburg let go in the background, there's got to be an element of thinking as to when to Augsburg strike and get tore up on the phone again. Really disappointing from an FCA point of view, and Leipzig absolutely flying. They'll be really happy with what they've produced. Similarly, Leipzig, again excluding the Pokal, is a really big game for them next in the league, which is Stuttgart. So that'll be a really interesting game to see where they're at. Justin and our friends on the other Leipzig podcast. It'd be really interesting to see where that game goes. And I think after that it's Hoffenheim. So a couple of tricky games for Leipzig as well to find out where they're at in terms of their development as well. So we shall move on. I think one thing to pick out from this game is that Leipzig had a XG of 2.86. So they were super clinical, 8 shots on target, scored 6 of them. Augsburg had 14 off target. So yeah, not great reading from any point of view. We shall move on though. Next game we're going to talk about is, again, not necessarily a game that has, maybe everyone talking, but as always on this show, we like to give attention to everyone, not just the big teams, quote unquote. So we're going to talk about Hoffenheim-Heidenheim. Strong win for the home side, albeit their first home win of the season. Also, Hoffenheim have struggled, to win at home and kind of get those points on the board. But they played really well. That front two, it just looks really, really exciting. Asllani and Lempel both getting on the score sheet in the first half. Really quick thinking from Hoffenheim to play a quick throw in to catch Heidenheim off balance from a defensive point of view, and it's a lovely finish from Asllani for 1-0. After that, a couple of chances for Hoffenheim still. Lempel with a header at the back stick, which he somehow looped over the bar. That should have been 2-0, but he did get his goal eventually. A nice counter move from Hoffenheim, finishing with a nice pass across goal from Toure. And then Lempel does the rest for 2-0. That felt like pretty much game over, but we know and love Frankie Schmidt. He wasn't one to sit on his laurels. Made 3 subs at half time to try and get back into the game. He brought in Honsak, Schimmer, and Neuhaus, taking out Dorsch, Sisavadze, and Gimber. They played okay after that, although I think it's mainly still Hoffenheim that had the best chances. Berger was really, really good in the midfield again. Should have had a goal himself. Kramaric, though, gets the third. Really classy finish as per from him to finish the game, albeit a late bit of momentum. 1 goal from Heidenheim. Nice finish from Schimmer for 3-1, and then they hit the bar after that. So a bit of positivity and a frantic finish. But it wasn't enough. So TSG go marching on, Peter. Good performance from them. Looking at this team, Hoffenheim, we've already talked about it a little bit, but it just looks so much better balanced from the starting 11 point of view. One thing that I also picked out, I think, was that Ilzer was able to name an unchanged team. One thing that I feel like from a Hoffenheim point of view that we've not seen much is constant change, not really knowing the best team, always plucking out players. The goalkeeper speaks for itself, the fullbacks do. That central midfield pairing is great. Toure and Kramaric now playing kind of as wingers in a sense, and then the 2 up front. It's a really exciting team. So first comments and thoughts on Hoffenheim. I know it probably pains you a little bit to say it, but they're looking good.
I'll reiterate something about Bazumana Toure's tactical positioning. Basically, from the very beginning of the season, and I did tip Hoffenheim to finish top 4. What we saw from Ilzer in training camp was a very RB Leipzig, an RB system, a Ralf Rangnick style 4-2-2-2. Which is Rangnick was actually at Hoffenheim before he went to Leipzig, so he sort of pioneered this ultra-modern footballing system. The exception is Toure, who doesn't serve as a classical winger. He oftentimes cuts inside and works as an 8, and it's really, from a tactical level, that's quite interesting. We've often talked about the midfield of Abdullahu and Berger. Both of them are new summer acquisitions, but they played together in the Swiss league. Also, this Kufal character, who I never really heard of. He was he was with West Ham for 5 years, and they managed to match him up on a free. Has been phenomenal. I think he would be my vote for the player of the match in that particular instance. Kramaric, we thought he was done. If I would have wagered safe money on the starter in this particular tactical constellation being Mohamed Damar, Kosovar Aslani's former Elversberg loanee. But Kramaric, the ageless Andre Kramaric, the Croat marksman, went ahead and said he moved up a little bit on the on the Bundesliga all-time scoring list with that particular goal. Should be interesting to see if they end up extending with a 34-year-old as he is on an expiring contract. But he's very much kind of a Mr. Hoffenheim. Him and Sebastian Rudy are the sort of long-term faces of this young club. Baumann is. I can see Oliver Baumann going into the World Cup as the German national team keeper, even if Ter Stegen is back and fit in time. He's been filling in the role for quite some time. Granted, the last time the German national team was in action at home in Sinsheim in the home stadium, the German press was joking that he was chatting and shaking hands with the fans the whole time because he had nothing to do. Yeah, I mean it is a good team, and it does pain me to say that. And I think that they really should be on their way to a top 4 finish. Yeah, I was really rather disappointed that this match wasn't a little bit more competitive. I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that Mikkel Kaufmann, the Danish striker, is out for Hoffenheim. I mean, they've had horrible luck with injuries. In addition to having some of their staples like Nicholas Dorsch just tank in form, absolutely. They only made the 2 summer signings in Ramai and Ibrahimovic, loanees from Bayern and Dortmund, respectively, and they've been okay. I mean, I don't think that they've been terrible. There's just not enough support behind them to get the ball into the final third. You mentioned Stefan Schimmer. That's kind of an interesting story. You may be wondering who Stefan Schimmer is. He is. Yeah, he's actually been with the club ever since he carried them through the lower divisions, and he was a player that never really featured for them in the first 2 seasons of the top flight because they upgraded him, and he scored his first Bundesliga goal of his career. The 31-year-old did last week, and now he scored again. So, yeah, he could be definitely making a case for the starting 11, and that would be a great story as well. Let's not forget that Tim Kleindienst was, a Zweite Bundesliga legend. He was serving up alongside Schimmer on some occasions, and nobody thought that he would be ready for the top level, but now he's probably Germany's best bet. To lead the line in the World Cup if he's fit again in time. Not to mention Gladbach's only hope of avoiding relegation. So yeah, I mean there's some interesting stories in Heidenheim, as there always are. But you're right about the fact that this was the match that Germans we joke about Heidenheim as like the match that nobody in Germany will see. And that's why so many of us who are, in the tipping business, we always say, oh, it's going to be a 3-3 draw or something like this, because we know that no Germans will be watching it, and therefore it'll be a good match. And we did get goals out of it. I mean, it was a good match, and it did provide us with some interesting storylines. So there you go.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. Some good chat in the comment section, in the chat section. A few points just to pick out before we move on. Sard checking in. Hope you're doing well, pal. All 4 strikers or forwards involved in the goals for Hoffenheim. Aslani reaching 20 goals this season. He's got a great chance, hasn't he? The way he's going right now, could really fire them to top 4 football, as Peter's already mentioned. So that's a nice comment there to pick out. Mark saying that Aslani's been one of the best players this season. Yeah, hard to argue against that as well. Nice comments in from VfB Americana. We'll be talking about a certain VfB very shortly, so don't worry about that, chaps. Season now 20% over. Oh God, don't say that. League looks wide open from 2nd to 18, but Heidenheim they to finish 17 and 16 at this point. 17 and 18 rather.
I think everybody tipped Heidenheim for relegation. Everybody and their mother and their mother's brother and everybody tipped Heidenheim for relegation this year. I mean, people think this has to be the year that they go down. For whatever it's worth, my tips for automatic relegation points at the beginning of the season were based on some of the crises that were the personnel crises that were enveloping Werder Bremen and Erste FC Union Berlin. Now, and both of these teams are now mid-table. And so, I mean, they can factor back into the relegation race. I absolutely believe they can, as can Augsburg, as can Pauli, as can even HSV after what we saw from them this week. I think I truly believe that Mainz and believe it or not, Gladbach will pull themselves back up and get out of the relegation race once things start clearing up for them.
I agree.
In Mainz's case, it's a hectic schedule, and in Gladbach's case, I mean, they're going to get Kleindienst back. They will get Frankie Honorat back fit, and they will get a decent coach in place. I mean, Polanski they say they're going to give him to November. I mean, the rumors that I'm reading, they'll So Heidenheim, they can still survive this year. They can. I believe that they can. I don't think, I mean, with Pacarada, if they can get Pacarada back on that left-hand side of defense, it's not going to be until late in the season, but that's when the relegation race is decided after all. If they can work, if Schmidt can work out how to use attackers like Ibrahimovic, Kaufmann, and Zivzivatse, who has some talent, he could maybe run a front three. And he can get the, and get the midfield sorted out there. I don't know what to do about Dorsch. I don't know what happened to him. I don't understand. Yeah, he's just like lost all of his pace for some reason. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think they can still survive.
Well, time will tell. Also, yeah, completely agree. TSG's pink kit looked very, very nice. I think it was important stuff. With their kit was linked to breast cancer as well. I think awareness. So that's obviously a great touch as well. So yeah, no credit, absolutely due there. Right, let's move on to our next game, which we're going to talk about the final game of Match Week 8, which was Stuttgart taking on Mainz, which was a delightful 2-1 victory for the home side, a 5th in a row. I should know that, shouldn't I? It was a good game. This, I thought. The first half was pretty tight, although Stuttgart had a good amount of control for a great deal of it. A good batch of chances for the likes of Leveling, Undav, Fuhrich had a couple of goes himself. But yeah, the home side found themselves a goal down through the kind of handball moment that we had in the first half, where Chema Andreas obviously is going up for a header, which is headed back onto his hands, which are up in the air. After a VAR check, it was deemed to be a penalty, and Amiri does the business. Peter, I just want to bring you in on this straight away. These penalties and handballs are doing my nut in at the moment. And I think and I guess the rules is the rules, blah, blah, blah. But like Zagadou wins the header and the ball is going away from goal. Chima, yeah, fine, he's got his hands in the air. But are we just finding penalties for the fun of it these days?
Well, Germans are very, very strict about the rule book, and they're also strict about grading their referees, as you know. The chatter in the German press, there actually wasn't a lot of chatter in the German press about Zweier. He was given, he was given average marks for the game, even though there were not only was there a penalty, there was all these bookings towards the end. Okay, he had to keep things a little bit under control with Amiri maybe firing up the Stuttgart Fahnenkurve too much. But according to the letter of the law, that was correct. It was checked by the Kölner Keller, And, I mean, that part, did he explain it to the crowd? I didn't catch was that a mic'd up match?
It was mic'd up. He did explain it, yeah. And he said it ends up being a clear penalty.
Precisely. Okay. So, I mean, I'm glad at least you can complain about these penalties, and we can all complain about these penalties, these handball penalties. They are getting out of control. The DFL has a good review committee that reviews all of these and will make rule changes at the end of the season if need be. And I really do like this application of mic'd up referees. I think that's absolutely, I mean, that's only fair to those of us who love to go to the matches and pay good money for a ticket. We need an explanation, please. Yeah, so there's that. I guess there's plenty of other talking points here. Let's not forget, I mean, these two teams are poised to meet each other in the Pokal again in a couple of days, and that was the reason for these big lineup rotations, which I'm sure, as a Stuttgart fan, when you saw the team sheet, you were thinking to yourself, "Oh my goodness, how does he even line this team up? I mean, what is he going to line them up in?" And it looked like a 3-4-3 to me. Not, I mean, to mirror Mainz's typical 3-4-3. It was such that one got something of an ugly midfield slog of a game. Fuhrich's, beyond the fact that Fuhrich's goal was quite attractive, full of physical play and cagey play and lots of long balls. I mean, it did not surprise me at all that Nubel ended up breaking this one open with the pass, with a second 5-meter pass, because I mean, that was just exactly how the game had to be decided at the end of the day. I mean, there was no other way to decide it. The rotations I thought were rather interesting. I thought, I mean, Nicholas Narti, I had forgotten that he played for Stuttgart. I mean, it's you almost did. I mean, he's started last week as well, and made his little Europa League cameo. There's a humorous. I mean, you're the Stuttgart man, so you can break this down in further detail. But I wanted to mention that when Dan Axel Zagadou left, the German press immediately, just out of habit, reported that he was injured, even though he was not. Hernes actually explained later that it was fatigue, but that was something that got a little. I mean, that's pretty dark gallows humor. I mean, we all feel for Dan Axel Zagadou and his horrible history with injury. Yeah. But when some German press sources initially reported that Zagadou had left the match injured, everybody, I mean, people went just a little bit crazy in the German press, and Ernest had to calm everybody down at his press conference today and say, no, it was just fatigue.
Yes. I think you mentioned the long balls, obviously that came into play. I would say that I think it was a really good competitive game. I think the long balls had a part to play, because I also think that and as the chaps have kind of mentioned, kind of bringing up who is the most surprising B player in a sense, I thought one of Stuttgart's weakest players was one of their A players in the set. I thought Chema Andreas had one of his worst games, actually. And not saying that he didn't get around, he got around the pitch loads, and he's still making quite a lot of, I think he still won probably the most duels in the team. So it's not for a lack of trying. He was just really sloppy in possession, I found. And that just, has not been something that we've been accustomed to so far with him. So I thought that was strange that he also didn't get subbed out for Stiller. I thought Karasor might get the full game when they made those changes. Most positive B players, tricky, I guess. Like, I thought Zaga was great for the 70-odd minutes. I think having his aerial presence is so much more reassuring than what you could see so far with Yelch and Yaquez. Obviously, you bring on Chabot and you don't lose much. In that sense, I think that was great. Undav looked like he added something completely different, exactly what Stuttgart have been missing on occasion. That kind of all-rounder striker, I think, was incredibly vital. So I think lots of players did well, I thought, overall, and I didn't see it come in, and to the points of from Gavin and Saad. Is it likely to happen again? Quite likely. Maybe not to as extreme degree. But now the fact that Stuttgart are playing across 3 competitions, they also now have work to do in the Europa because of 2 back-to-back losses. So they're going to have to target the next 3, which look winnable completely. Now that they're in a nice position in the Bundesliga, it's about how do you prioritize, I guess. Peter, quickly, if you were Sebastian, what would you prioritize?
Well, they are the defending DFB Pokal champions, and I covered a match that nobody really wanted to cover, that opening round DFB Pokal madness from Stuttgart. So yeah. It is thanks to the to the Pokal that they are on the Europa Rise this year, and that was the reason for all. That was the primary reason for all those heavy rotations. I don't care what Hoeneß said. I mean, he didn't dust off Pascal Stenzel because he was preparing him for something. He might be my vote for the most the best B-rated match.
He scored a delightful goal, in fairness.
So. No, the future of VfB is obviously Kanus and Stiller, that midfield with Stiller and Kemmer. I mean, they have serious work to do in Europe. They've lost both matches, and it's particularly the one against Basel, which they absolutely had to win. If you look at the fixtures at it, so. I mean, I think you're going to see everybody back, the 4-2-3-1 back in the Pokal against Mainz in the midweek, and then you might see some more rotations next Saturday against Leipzig, because I mean, is that a match that you can hope to win given where Leipzig are in terms of their form? I mean, he might be content playing for a draw. In that respect, in order to rotate back in the best players for Feyenoord, which will be the next Europa League match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. On the side of Mainz, only real comment is to say I'm sticking to my guns. I still feel that their position in the league is completely false. I think, and Mark disagrees with me to an extent on this, which is completely fine. Peter, you sound like, from what you said earlier, that you think that you're kind of in the same camp as me, that they'll work out with it and rise up the league because they have a bit of a hectic schedule. And because they've won their first 2 games in the Conference League, now puts them in a stronger position in that sense, that maybe they can sacrifice at least a game in a sense and rotate for that and prioritize getting themselves back up. In the Bundesliga, I think, really, because I don't think that they'll stay there for the whole season.
The Kachi's absence is quite important in Mainz's case. Sylvain Widmer, technically the captain, but well past his prime, and he ordinarily, I mean, his natural position is also on the right. Yeah. So you have that issue. This was a uncharacteristically poor performance from Stefan Bell. I think that he's much better. I think he's a very, very underrated player, and I think that he'll be back to being his old self once he gets himself in rhythm, sort of. These were 2 exceptionally hard fought Conference League victories. They found themselves under a lot of pressure at home, with the atmosphere that the fans created last Thursday night. First Mainz European League game in a decade. So, of course, they were a little bit nervous, and you could tell. And also, Danny da Costa, in an interview with I think it was a Portuguese podcast, noted that when they traveled to Cyprus, their pre-match warm-up balls were deliberately deflated. And I have no reason to distrust him on that. I don't think Danny DaCosta would lie about something like that. It sounds something. Yes. I mean, I did a whole article on it, and he said that basically they gave them flat warm-up balls in Cyprus. So and that was, the Conference League, just like the Europa League, those are brutal turnarounds. They really are. And you've had a couple of players that are slow to get started in Mainz, and you also have a couple of players. My little geheim tip for a player who's going to mature, I think, in the second half of the Bundesliga campaign is this 22-year-old Ben Bobzian. I think he really showed flashes of what he's capable of in camp. And I think that he's going to get there. I mean, Viper is still lighting it up for the U21s. Hollerbach will get there eventually. He's a very, very good player. I mean, the attacking core is going to wake up at some point. Yeah. And with Kachi in place, there's enough talent on this team. There's more than enough talent on this team.
Agreed. Okay, that's great stuff. We'll fly through some of the best of the rest, and then we'll finish off with some Pokal predictions. There was 3 1-0 results over the weekend. Very quickly, glazing over the Werder important victory, 1-0 on Friday night to get us going against Union Berlin. The game's outstanding moment, of course, was the goal scored by Marco Grull. Great goal to cut inside and curl it with great power into the back of the net for the 1-0 scoreline. So really important for Bremen to get that win, takes them above Union. Also, it was the first start in green for Victor Boniface, which is good to see. So that was that one. HSV 0, Wolfsburg 1. This was a game. This is a result that not a lot of people predicted, unlike Mark. So due credit to him, he did call this one because he said that Wolfsburg just needed to win, and God, did they need to win? Yes, absolutely.
He never let me hear the end of that tip all weekend long.
Very proud. He's very proud of it. Did they deserve to win it? God, no. Hamburg, chances, missed pen. I think their XG was, I'm sure I noted it down somewhere, 2.5. Wolfsburg's was less than a half. They had 25 shots in the match, 5 altogether for Wolfsburg. Feels like, Simonis might have used up all his luck in one game there because, boy, oh boy, did, Wolfsburg get away with one, I feel, there. So, important win for them. The other 1-0 victory was the Top Spiel on Saturday, and that was a game that we were all looking forward to, and it ended up being a 1-0 score. As Dortmund got over the line very, very late, and Maxi Bayer being the hero, winning it in injury time. Obviously much to the dismay of the Billy Goats, but main kind of factors in this, I guess, was that there was a great chance for El Mala in the first half when he went through on goal. That probably should have been 1-0 to Köln, but that chance went begging. Thereafter, there was chances for Guirassy, Nemetcha, Schweber in there had a really good game to keep it at 0-0 pretty much all game long, and eventually Dortmund got over the line. It continues their good form. Again, if you kind of scratch out the Klassiker. So they're 3-1-0 games. If we come to a couple of other strong home wins, we had Frankfurt and Leverkusen both winning 2-0 against St. Pauli and Freiburg, respectively. I'll throw this one to you, Peter, just to run us through that Frankfurt win very briefly. Johnny B at it again, and maybe kind of just give us a bit of a teaser as to what we can expect from the vlog as well.
Well, I actually I didn't realize this until just now, but I had a very good tip this weekend too, and that was that Eintracht would keep a clean sheet, and I caught some flack for that online when I posted my tips. People were like, "You really believe that Eintracht is going to keep a clean sheet?" Yes, indeed, because Pauli's attack has just gone completely limp, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Unfortunately, we don't have time to get into it. Yeah, we had a very, very good match from Jonny B, who is now second in the Bundesliga in goal scoring, behind Harry Kane after that brace. And the vlog does make note of the fact that that Jonny B is in fine form for Eintracht, and we have a little bit of nostalgia built into the vlog from some of our past matches, maybe watching Jonny B at Mainz, along with some other. There's all sorts of fun things that that people can unpack. There was also an interesting protest action at the match that I did my best scouring the St. Pauli blogs to figure out if the Eintracht Frankfurt fans were showing solidarity with them. I don't have a definitive answer. Perhaps somebody does, but we'll have all that thrown up there tomorrow. That might segue us to Eintracht Dortmund, which is of course a massive Pokal matchup. If you'd like to go there, or anything else you'd like to talk about Bundesliga-wise. Oh, I'll answer Balam's question and say absolutely that Mark and I did keep the tradition alive, and we'll be pleased to share that vlog with you as well soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in, Balam, and I hope you're enjoying, even if you're a little bit late joining us. Just quickly, Leverkusen getting past Freiburg pretty comfortably through goals from Polku and Tapsoba and a Leinhardt late red card. Was all in play there. Obviously, the other game that we haven't mentioned is the 3-0 Bayern win against Gladbach. All was set up by the early red card to Kastrop. Not a nice tackle by any means, and was upgraded from a yellow to a red. And to be fair, Gladbach did pretty well to last 60-odd minutes before Bayern, got that first goal and the floodgates opened for Kimmich, and then a second goal from Guerrero, and then a third beautiful goal from Carl, the 17-year-old, just having a ball of a time, loving seeing another great talent come to the fore. All in between that was a missed penalty by Sturger. Oh dear, not quite going so well for one of our favourites, sadly, in a Gladbach shirt. And Gladbach, there's a lot of work to do, sadly, for the Foles. They need to get a coach, don't they? Proper head coach, and we'll have more to talk about in terms of their progress in future recordings. So I think that covers things nicely. So we've got about 5-6 minutes or so to do some Pokal predictions. There's loads of great games, so we're going to try and run through as many as we can and do some quick predictions for each one. So let's have a look. Where shall we start? Let's start with we might as well just start off with Mainz Stuttgart, as it's a repeater. I'll let you go first, Peter.
Well, I mean, with the A team back in, I will go for a 2-1 Stuttgart victory.
I've said 2-2, but Stuttgart on penalties. Maybe another penalty drama. We will see. What else have we got? We have let's do Frankfurt, BVB, as you mentioned, Peter. I will say on this one, I still feel that Frankfurt are lacking against the quote-unquote big teams. There's something there. I'm going to say 2-3 to the away side after extra time.
Well, I should mention something about the vlog. When it does come out, people might wonder, well, why didn't the Frankfurt Kurve do, some choreo or some pyro or something like this? Well, we were sandwiched in between two massive home matches, Liverpool and Dortmund in the Pokal. So my beloved German ultras, they needed a little bit of a rest cure. Give them time. It takes time to put choreos and protests and things like this together. The support against Liverpool was absolutely magnificent, irrespective of the scoreline. And I think that the support for Eintracht is going to be even better this time around. And hopefully, Topmüller won't make mistakes like choosing Ansgar Knauf to mark off of corners, given his height disadvantage. And I will go I am absolutely going for a 3-1 Eintracht victory in this case.
Very good. Okay, well, the polar opposites there. Let's pick out Wolfsburg Kiel, a game that Wolfsburg needs to obviously win. Holstein Kiel ultimately relegated from the Bundesliga to the Zweite, having a kind of middle-ish run of it at the moment in the Zweite. 3-1 home win for me. No, I'm going to tip the upset here. I will tip 1-1 with Kiel on penalties, taking out, just like they took out Bayern on penalties. That was, oh, good Lord, when was that? 2021? Yeah, something like that. Very good. Okay, Heidenheim, Hamburg. I will say 1-1 Hamburg on pens. I don't know why I'm saying pens so much all of a sudden.
I'll go 1-0 Heidenheim. I mean, we have to, I think at this point, I hope it doesn't go down to pens. Königsdorfer is he ever going to score? I mean, I feel like, I was writing this piece about Königsdorfer, about how he commemorates goals with a waffle party. When is the man going to get his waffle party? I don't know if he's ever going to get his waffle party. So I'll go 1-0 for Heidenheim. Yeah.
Okay. We'll pick up one that Justin's mentioned, which is Cottbus against Leipzig. I've got against the three Liga current leaders. I've said 4-1. Justin says 3-1. Saad has said Cottbus to take the lead, but extra time and Leipzig to win 2-1. Peter, what are we going for this one?
I'll go 3-1 Leipzig. Although, I mean, this is, wow, what a fantastic match this is. Energie Cottbus, a true East German club, welcoming, now who are the beasts of the East. And as you mentioned, the atmosphere is going to be fantastic. And I mean, that's really, unfortunately, I will be in attendance at a different Pokal match at the same time, so I cannot watch it live. But I absolutely, I mean, Leipzig are going to take it, but it should be, it's worth a look if you can get it.
Absolutely. Next up, Köln hosting Bayern. Could be an entertaining one. This can absolutely see. I can see Köln scoring. I put down 4-2, but I might have to slightly alter that. Oh, sorry, I'll stick with it. 4-2 to Bayern.
That sounds about right. It's. I mean, as much as we all love Köln, and our thoughts are with Timo Hübers after that horror injury, and on the former Köln captain expiring contract. Terrible stuff. I believe that the Geisböcker will make it entertaining at home, much in the same way that Wiesbaden made it entertaining against Bayern in the opening round Pokal fixture. But ultimately, Bayern should be able to take this. If that's the last one you have, there's Gladbach is hosting my father's KSC. There is a potential upset there, given Gladbach's current form, but I believe that Gladbach will take it. Augsburg, Bochum, if you're into some voyeurism, if Bochum knock out Augsburg in the Pokal, as they did a couple of years, when was it? I believe they did a couple of years back. Then Wagner is under serious pressure in another home match against Dortmund on Friday.
Massive, big game.
Yeah.
There is one that I did want to mention, actually, and we can't talk about the Pokal of recent times without talking about Bielefeld. They are playing in Berlin, playing Union. I want to call another Bielefeld win. I really do. I'll probably look stupid because they might do it. I'll say 2-1 to the home side. It feels like Union are the side that you don't want to play in.
I agree. Yeah, the opening round Pokal victory for Bielefeld was actually a quick rematch, a snap rematch against a Bremen side that just had no bodies at that point. So it was really, Bremen were they hadn't signed Sugawara or Schmidt or Boniface or anybody at that point. So I mean, what a fantastic story it would make for. There could be several great, fantastic stories here. I mean, St. Pauli could pull off a miracle against Hoffenheim. Don't think that's going to happen. Paderborn, very, very strong Zweite Bundesliga side against Leverkusen.
That's a 2-1 upset.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, Paderborn are very, very good this year, and don't underestimate those East Westphalians. They're Bielefeld is also East Westphalia. These are like the people from these are the Arminius Teutoburg Forest. We're crazy German people.
Lovely stuff. Well, I think that's a nice place to round up this evening then. So yeah, thank you to everyone that's tuned in. It's been great fun chatting this evening. Bundesliga, a bit of kiosk, some match week 8, nice review, and some Pokal predictions. And thank you to everyone that's contributed. It's been lovely chat this evening from everyone. So thank you for your contributions. Thank you to Peter, and we'll next catch you live on Thursday for our swathe of predictions and fantasy. Of course, as already mentioned, we've got the first vlog coming out from Peter and Mark's adventures. Most probably tomorrow, but we'll confirm on socials as and when. Loads happening on the Bundesliga show as always. So the final thing for me to say is like, comment, subscribe, get your friends subscribed. We have big ambitious plans as ever, so we want to keep on growing this awesome community that we have already built. So your support is always appreciated. Thank you everyone, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers all.